Hi folks, welcome back to Sidetrack's Board Game Channel. I've done a few Designer Diaries videos talking about my latest game that I've been working on called Drum Major, and today I thought what I'd do is put a little how to play video together to show you how it works. Now this is still just a prototype, so things will likely be tweaked and changed as time goes on, but I feel like at this point, after about a dozen play tests, the mechanics are pretty solid, and so the basics of the game are probably gonna stick to where they're at, and it'll be a lot of tweaking from here on out. So let's get to the table and take a look at Drum Major. Okay, so what we have shown here is a 3-player setup for the game Drum Major. At the beginning, during the setup phase, you're gonna put all of the music notes out in their supply bins. These are the signature style cubes, the yellow cubes over here. All the unit cards make up what's called the parade deck. And the number of bands that are included in the parade are equal to the number of players plus 1. So in this case, we would have 4 bands in the parade. You would shuffle in 4 bands amongst a bunch of other random unit cards. And these units could be floats, other marching groups, or vehicles. And then you put those down just randomly throughout the parade. Throughout the game, those unit cards will flip over, and once all of them are flipped, that's when the parade begins. That's actually the end of the game, and you score to see who has the best band. In every game, there are a couple of permanent objectives. One is for the biggest band, the other is for the best musical performance, and those cards get flipped to whichever side corresponds to the number of players. So in this case, whoever has the biggest band will score 10 points. The second place will have 4 points, and third place will get 2 points, and then the same for best musical performance. During the setup phase, each player will take a sheet of music and a signature style for their band. The signature style doesn't really matter in terms of point scoring. It's just whatever you think seems cool for your band. And in most cases, the music selection that you pick isn't going to have a huge impact unless it relates to your director's objective. And we'll talk about that here in a second. So at the beginning of the game, each player gets 2 director's objectives. And these are essentially the marching orders from your band director. And what you'll do is you'll turn those over and look at them and determine which one you want to go for. So essentially you're picking who your band director is for the game. And you'll get a different number of victory points, stars, depending on which objectives you go for. Some of them are very difficult, like this one, and it'll give you lots of points. Other ones are very simple, and they'll just give you 1 point. But depending on which objectives that you want to go for, you'll select that card, and that gives you, and you keep this secret from other players, and that gives you some ways that you can score points throughout the game. During the setup, you'll also put out 3 cards in the judges stand. Those are mystery objectives. During the game, you will be able to take actions to take a peek at those and gain some insight into what the judges are looking for. Or if you don't want to spend any actions on that, you can just press your luck and hope for the best. Or you could try to deduce from watching the other players what those objectives are. So let's give you an example of one of those objectives. Actually, we'll look at a couple of them. So in this case, the objective is the band closest to the front of the parade. So that relates to the parade lineup. The front of the parade is where the police car is over here, and the back of the parade is this unit right here. So the parade goes this way, okay? So whichever band is closest to the front of the parade will get 5 victory points. Second place will get 2, third will get 1. And then we have the Buddy Rich bonus, which is the largest percussion section. So whoever has the largest percussion section will also get some points. And the third objective you don't know right now. So some of these you'll know, and others you may never find out. So once the game is set up, everybody has picked their director's objectives. You're gonna flip over the first unit in the parade. In this case, it's a float. Then you're gonna flip over the last unit in the parade. And in this case, it's a motorcycle club. And one of the things you'll notice is with the motorcycle club, you do not want to be ahead of the motorcycle club or behind the motorcycle club, obviously because motorcycles are noisy and you don't want your band to get drowned out by the motorcycles. So the parade lineup can impact point scoring as well. I should also mention that over here in the band room, before the game starts, we add 3 dice for each player. And those are recruits for your bands. You can pick those dice and add them to your band to grow your band. So the first player token is the drum major whistle. In this case, the blue player will go first. On the blue player's turn, they do two things. The first thing they do is flip over one unit in the parade, and it can be any unit. So we'll flip over this one, and it's a giant balloon. So if your band is lined up before the balloon, you get a bonus point, or behind the balloon, it's a bonus point. The other thing we'll do is we'll add one new die to the band room, okay? And then each player takes the top two action cards from their deck and decides which one they want to play. So in this case, I have a couple different options. I can peek at one of those judges bonuses, okay? Or I could recruit new band members to my band. I can scavenge a card from my discard pile, but right now I don't have any cards in my discard pile because we just started. Or I could also recruit. So I think I'm gonna play this card, okay? And the card that I'm not gonna play, I get to decide whether I wanna add that to the top of my stack, which means I'm gonna have it again immediately, or the bottom of my stack, which means I'll save it for later. This scavenge action is very helpful towards the end of the game, obviously because your discard pile will be much bigger and you'll be able to pull any card you want from that and play it again. So I'm gonna add that to the bottom of my stack so I'll have it later in the game. Once all the players decide what they're doing, we all reveal, okay? And we take our action. Now, I could do either peek at the judges thing or I can draft dice. I've already shown you what some of the judges things are, but let's pretend we don't know what those are. And let's just say I'm gonna recruit some band members for my band. So I'm gonna take the 6 percussion, I'm gonna add it to the percussion section of my band. And then I'm gonna take the 5 trombone, I'm gonna add that to the brass section of my band, okay? And so that's how you build your band. You're gonna get dice, you have woodwinds, brass, and percussion. At the end of the game, for each column that you have filled, you'll get 2 points bonus, and for each row, you'll have 2 points bonus. Some of the other actions that you can take, we'll look through them here. You could get style points and add style to your band, and these cards need to be reprinted. You can tell this is still a prototype. You can tweak your band and adjust the pips on the dice. You can add music, okay? So if I add music, you can see here, I'm just gonna, and that represents my band practicing their music, okay? And when we do that, we just add notes to our music sheet. At the end of the game, whichever band has the most music notes on their sheet has the best musical performance, okay? There are also cards that allow you to claim a band. Now, in this case, we don't have any band units shown, so I can't really do this right now if I were to get it. But at some point, you're gonna take your drum major and you're gonna put that drum major on your band. So let's say it's later in the game and we've revealed some additional units. You can see there's a band there. And these get revealed just randomly throughout the game. Okay, there's a fire truck. You don't want to be in front of or behind the fire truck because they're really loud as well. Okay, so let's say it's later in the game. There's a few of these that have been revealed. And I want to claim a band because in order to score points, my band needs to be in the parade. Now in this case, I'm gonna claim this band because I wanna be behind this float, which will get me 2 bonus points, and in front of this float, which will get me another 2 bonus points. Now my director's objectives may or may not have anything to do with being close to floats. In this case, mine are more about signature style points and the types of instruments that I have. But I can also have objectives that relate to my positioning in the parade lineup. So there are some about positioning. There are some, this is one, once I claim a band, I could play this action to move my band up or back in the parade. I can get music. I can manipulate the dice. I can re-roll dice in the band room and then pick one. More music. This allows me to move units around in the parade lineup. So maybe if I'm by a fire truck and I really don't want to be by a fire truck, I can switch that, move the fire truck out of the way and put it somewhere else, okay? So throughout the game, you're going to be playing these different actions. You're going to be building your band. You're going to be practicing your music to do a better musical performance. You're going to be getting signature style, and then you're going to be trying to meet these different objectives. So basically you would continue that sequence. You'd play through 20 turns in the game until all the units in the parade lineup are revealed. And at that point, the parade is ready to start and everybody scores to see who has the best band. You'll add up your points and you'll get points for the best band, the best musical performance. You'll get style points based on your signature style. You'll also score the judges' bonuses, and you'll look at your director's objectives to see how well you hit on what your director was looking for. Once you add up all the points, the drum major with the highest score is the winner. If you're interested in checking it out and play testing this, just give us a holler. Email us at sidetracksbgc@gmail.com. We'd be happy to set up a play test with you. See ya.